I'm Melanie Trailer, and today we are talking about the giveaways that we have coming up. So, Checkie Quilt Along starts on March 1, and I have been busy the last couple of weeks getting all of my sponsors together. I'm still not quite done, but I have one completely ready to go. So, I've welcomed HAVEL'S Sewing on board as a sponsor for this Quilt Along. They usually sponsor many of my Quilt Alongs, but this time they have really raised the bar. So these are going to be the week 2 prize, and we're going to have 5 different winners. And Shelly over at HAVEL'S sent me this big box of cutting supplies, and we always need cutting supplies, right? I mean, you just constantly need them. So I asked her to send my favorite things from HAVEL'S that I use. And I've been a HAVEL'S ambassador for years and years and years, but even before that, they make the best cutting tools as far as scissors, snips, rotary blades, things like that. I just feel very strongly about their products, and I only use their stuff to cut with. And what I'm going to do is get on a different camera, and I'm going to pull out everything in this box and show you the prizes, but also tell you why I love them so much. Here we go. So now again, we're going to have 5 different winners, and each of those winners are going to have these prizes. Okay. So the first thing I asked her for was these rotary blades. So you'll get a 60 millimeter rotary blade because they're my favorite. And I like the 60 because you can cut more layers of fabric, and it cuts batting. When you're trimming up your quilt, it cuts batting really nice. So you'll get one of these 60 millimeter rotary blades. Get a pack of extra blades because we need those, right? I change my blade all the time, so I go through these, but it's nice to have some extra blades. All right, so that is your basics. Now let's get into some of the little extras. You will win a Snip Ease scissors, and I keep these in my binding kit. Let me show you. Ooh. All right, so here is my binding kit, and I've got my scissors, my little snips right here. Here's what I like about these. All right, here they are, so you can get a good look at them. What I like about these is that I don't have to put my hands in them. And when you're binding, you know, your hands get tired, and having to slip them into the little scissor holes and then cut these little things I just do this with, it makes it so much easier. And see if you can see those. They curve up. Let me see. See, they have that little tiny tip up at the end, and that is so you don't cut your fabric when you're, you know, trimming your threads. Very helpful when you bury your threads, right? I can't tell you how many quilts I've snipped the thread before I started using some that tipped up like that. Oh, it comes with this little cap. I think I've lost my little cap, but you get a little cap with it too. All right, so that is the third prize. 4th prize, 7-inch scissors. And these are actually the first thing that I ever got from HAVEL'S years and years ago. And I was shocked at how good these fabric scissors are. They're 7-inch serrated scissors. And what I like about them is they cut all the way to the tip. So I keep a pair at my sewing table so that when I'm doing my binding, and I need to cut, you know, some of the binding off, they just snip right there. But I also use them for all the other things. If you were with us during the Dresden Quilt Along, these are the scissors that I used to cut out the centers for my Dresden plates. So I use these for any situation where I need to actually cut fabric by hand. And those are here. And here they are up close so you can see them. And I'm not sure if you can see that little serrated edge. It's so tiny, but it's there. They fit nice in your hand. I'm a big fan of these. And big fan that they cut all the way to the tip. Because how many pairs of scissors have you had, you know, that stopped closing at the tip or, you know, never cut at the tip? So they're handy. Snip a stitch scissors. I'm going to show you this up close too. So you can use the snip a stitch scissors any way you want, but I use them as my seam ripper. I have several of these at every sewing machine, but here is what they look like up close. And you'll see the little hook. And what that little hook is good at, let me see if I can get it to focus. What the little hook is good at doing is grabbing up a stitch. So let me give you an example of this to show you. All right, so there is my little stitches. This is just a sample. And what I do is I take the little hook and I slip it into one of the stitches and I, you know, cut it. And then I do that like every 3 or 4 stitches. This is incredibly good for if you, when you're free motion. I use it for all of my seam ripper needs. But when it comes to free motion, using that in a traditional seam ripper, no. So this is always the little thing that I use. And then it just kind of, you know, comes right apart. So I usually snip, like I said, every 3 or 4 stitches. And yeah, that's my seam ripper. This is the only seam ripper I use. All right, last prize and last of my favorite Havel products is these Dura Snips. And if you watch a lot of my videos, you will see these, you know, in almost every video. When I first got them, I pictured me wearing them on the little chain that comes with it. But to be honest, I never used the chain. I couldn't tell you where my chain was. But let me see if I can turn this just a little bit. All right, mine hang right here, and I only have one use for them, and that is to cut the threads between my chain piecing. So they are really, really good at that job. I'm sure they're good at a lot of stuff, but I'm just showing you how I use things. So here they are. And that's all I use them for. And what I like about them is when I'm going to, I'm sure you've seen me do this, but I'll have them against the surface of my table, and then I'll just cut the threads. And that's how I do it. Go back and watch any video and you will see these in my video if you see me at my sewing machine. So they're really, really handy. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prizes. Okay, so I really want to give a very big thank you to Havel's for shipping all of this to me. Just really, really generous, right? And just in case it wasn't clear in my moving about, there'll be 5 winners on week 2, and you'll win. Each of those 5 winners will win the entire 6-piece set that I showed you. Yeah. If you haven't signed up for the Quilt Along yet, there's a link right below this video that you can get yourself signed up. You will immediately receive a welcome email to the Quilt Along and all those details, like schedule, etc. Getting these prizes in is getting me even more excited. I don't know. I love giving things away. So yeah, I'm very, very ready for Checkie Quilt Along to begin. All right, so I'm going to pop in a couple days and show you the prizes for some of the other weeks. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that, and I'll see you next time.